Mark My Words Productions.
I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. Gotta believe me.
If you hear my voice, then you're part of the revolution. Welcome to 2RAW4TV, exclusively on blogtalkradio.com/2RAW4TV. I'm your host, Palmetto Star, the ruler of Underground Radio. You can actually hit me up on Twitter at PALMETTO_star, and I'll definitely shout you out. We have one of the most controversial and consciously aware spoken word artists ever in the house is Marc Marcel, and last time he was on here, he was talking about DMT and how that affects you consciously and how you get to another level. Now he has a letter to God that he's written, so I'm going to check him out, see what he's talking about. Call up 323-410-0036 if you have a question, if you're wondering about consciousness or you have a question for Marc Marcel. Definitely call up. Mark, you here?
What's going on, homie?
Hey, what's up? What's going on with you? Now, I know that you have a lot to say about what's going on in the world. I mean, last time you really rocked the show here at 2RAW4TV. One of our more popular shows was that DMT show, and you really brought it out and showed a lot of truth in that. What have you been up to since your last interview?
Man, I've been good, dude, man. Just enjoying the hell out of life, man, for real. That's all it is. I mean, I do want to say, man, that's a heavy-ass introduction you gave me. I was like, God damn, that's a lot to live up to. I thank you, though, for real, I do. But I just been doing good, man, for real. Just appreciating, the world for what it is,
No doubt. Now, what is a letter to God? What is that all about?
Well, really, I mean, just so you know, when we was talking last time when I was in Atlanta, I mean, Letter to God, that is going to be entitled the name of my last spoken word CD that I'm actually finishing up the touches on, and I'm going to release it probably next year sometime. But, I mean, so that's just the name of that. I've always wanted to name, like, my last CD that, and I just felt like now was the time for it to finally go down that way. So, I mean, that's just that. But, I mean, Letter to God really, just what we was talking about, just vibing about. It's funny because in that CD it comes full circle, just everything what we were talking about, my writing and just my way of thinking and thoughts and just realizing what the world is and what's going on here. And I'm just putting that all on that CD. But I'm also putting it like all in like this book that I'm writing too. So, I'm really, it's funny because I haven't really decided on what I want to entitle my book. But when I started doing this, because like I'm really a novelist at heart. Like that's how I just started getting into writing and anything. When I started doing this book that I'm writing now, I really wanted to write. Like that was like my sole purpose for writing. It's a book about life, higher consciousness and stuff. And it was like when I was like maybe like 22. And then as soon as I like just started it, I was like, oh, enough to even write any type of book like this at this age. You know what I'm saying? So, I like put a pause on it, and finally, I'm just blessed to be able to. It's funny that now I'm writing this book after all them years of writing and touring and performing. This is what I really wanted to do, and I'm just thankful that my experiences have led me to be able to open up that part in my mind to write a book that I'm writing now, So just to be clear on that, I guess.
Okay, and we have a question in the chat room. NMIOUONANCE.
Okay.
She asked, is
that's the way I'm feeling. You know, I would say all good things come to an end. I mean, I'm not to say that I'm not going to be performing. I don't know, but I'm just really focusing on a different area, and that is more of you know what? Like, it's funny. To answer that, like, it took me my whole career. It took me a good decade into my career to really understand that poetry isn't my gift. You know, poetry is just a tool I've been using to spread my gift through. You know, I say that in the introduction to one of my videos, and doing that, I've always said, you know, I'm so much more than a poet, and poetry is just a tool, you know, and so I'm on to other tools. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not to say I'm not going to perform, but I'm really not focused on the production of my own stuff. You know, I've produced a lot. You know, I've underground albums that I haven't even put out, so, you know, who knows? But yeah, this Letter to God is I'm putting everything into it, you know, because, you know, yeah.
Well, I know sometimes when you perform, you know, it sounds like a motivational speaker than the typecast spoken word artist. Do you ever see yourself going into that arena?
You know what? It's truthfully, I already feel like I'm in that arena. You know, I mean, because I feel, you know, I used to feel like my poems were the most important part of my set, and like the things I said in between was like the fun shit or just the entertainment. Now I realize that my poems are the entertainment, and the things that I say in between are the most important part of my set. And so, in realizing that, I try to touch on areas where it's not so much in a rhythmic flow as a spoken word piece, you know, but I'm just like talking to them about life or things that happen or just higher consciousness or just things going on in the world, or maybe even a funny story that can relate to, you know, something positive in their life, you know. So truthfully, I kind of feel like I'm already in that realm, but I do feel like I'm going to probably be doing more of that, you know, or I would like to be doing more of that, I would say, strictly, which is happening.
I definitely hear that.
Yeah.
I definitely hear that. Now, how has your life changed since you came to that realization that, you know, this is more or less your tool as opposed to, you know, who you are? I mean, well, how has your life changed?
Right. You know, it's been freeing. It has been such a freeing feeling, man, because I've been so slaved to my art. You know, man, I used to play basketball, and I used to be a strenuous. I used to break into my middle school when I was in high school just so I could shoot at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You know, I worked that hard at what I was doing. You know, I was a basketball player, and that's all I wanted to be. You know, and so when that didn't go the direction, which I'm thankful that it didn't, because I've realized I've touched more people now with words, poetry, than I ever could bouncing an orange basketball, by just inspiring them in a different way intellectually. But like, that's all I did. That's what I was. So when I started doing poetry or performing, I gave my life to it. You know, the same work ethic that I put into when I was playing basketball, I put my work ethic into my poetry and my writing, and I slaved over it, man. Like, in my first 3 years of writing, you know, I wrote like 7 novels and 2,000 poems, you know, and that's before I started touring hard, and that's like even before I even dropped a CD, you know what I'm saying? Or like my first CD around there. But anyway, like, it was very slaving, and people have to realize that you can be a slave to so many things, even the things that you love, that sometimes you can lose yourself in it. So when I realized that, it was very freeing, and it just, and obviously that freeing feeling, and that me realizing that I'm more, or not just more, but that it's just a tool, obviously came from different levels of consciousness that I made myself aware of. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. And dude, it's just a tool, man. I've enjoyed the tool. You know what I'm saying? I've used the hell out of it like a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've gotten so many tricks off my prostitute. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for real. Like, she's done amazing things. You know, but it's just a tool, man. Anything you do is a tool. The gift, man, is the knowledge, is the way to get the art out. I mean, that's the gift, you know what I'm saying? However you can, the inspiration, you know, so however you can inspire, whether you're a poet, whether you're a painter, you know what I'm saying, whether, you know, you're a dancer, you know, if you can bring that gift out in your art, man, like, there's so many tools. So it's just a tool.
I definitely hear that. Now, what does it mean for you to be awake? What does that mean? I mean, that's a term that you've been putting out there on some of the media that you've been putting out. What does it mean to be awake to you?
Well, you know, I mean, it's just funny because in talking to people, you know, and sharing some of the things that I have, or, you know, they'll make a suggestion to me, or they'll give me a compliment saying, man, you know, you're so smart, or you're so intelligent, or whatever. And I thank them for it, you know, but then I also tell them, you know, I'm really not smart. Like, I've just made myself aware of certain things. I'm no smarter than anybody else. We all know everything. We all know everything. We all know the same shit. It's just some of us choose to come here and forget and go through their progress the way they want to. So you're not really smarter than them. You know what I'm saying? If you know the same shit, I'm just making myself aware of certain things, and making yourself aware of that information is a valuable asset to me personally, because I felt awake. I've seen where that this place is, man, just a damn video game. You know, it's a figment of your imagination, and you can manipulate it in thought. And Palmetto, when I tell you, dude, everything in my life, man, we was talking about this a little bit, but everything in my life feels like it has gone down the way I have subconsciously wanted it, in a way. You know what I'm saying? It's like deep down, I wanted to go through all this so I can have the experiences that come with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like having $10 million, having a billionaire is great, but the experiences that you get from not experiencing that, you know what I'm saying? There's so by me, like, just, you know, going to, you know, just where, you know, how I've grinded in my poetry when I first started out, and even now, you know, there's this that I'm getting from that is defining, you know, that I actually enjoy the message in, you know, because I recognize the message. And that's what being awake is. You know what I'm saying? Being awake is realizing that this place is beautiful, and you giving yourself certain situations and problems to go through so you can experience it, because every problem has its own message in it. You know what I'm saying? And one is really not greater than the other. It's just different, you know? And we come here to experience different things and different problems, and our problems are fucking off.
Definitely, and you know, I want to touch on that. I want to touch on also last time we talked about DMT. I want to talk about, you know, your experiences since then with that. But now I want to go on to Deja Vu. That's a track off your latest CD, Stardust. What is Deja Vu about?
Well, Deja Vu was inspired, you know, just really realizing that this place is, like, you know, Deja Vu really, this place feels like it's Deja Vu, everything. Like, I have Deja Vu constantly. I have Deja Vu, like at least once a week. I have Deja Vu probably every other day now that I recognize. And it's funny, just last week, just like a couple weeks ago, I had deja vu within deja vu, meaning that I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was recognizing, I was about to tell, I was like, yeah, like this is deja vu, Ray. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm having deja vu again, and I'm just telling you I had deja vu. Like, it's crazy. So, I mean, and deja vu is for you to give you to think about, you know. It's really, really there to make you wonder. It's not to tell you, yo, you got to make a decision, but it's reminding you that, you know, that you have the choice to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? And so it's for you to recognize and stuff like that. So that track just comes from, I broadened that into my whole life as being a spoken word artist with that track.
No doubt, no doubt. And I want to also talk about your visions of the future. So definitely call up 323-410-0036. We got Marc Marcel on the line. This is the life-changing. This is a world-altering one, yo. So stay tuned. This is 2RAW4TV.
I had a horrible dream. And what's worse, I can't wake up.
Nothing seems new anymore. It's becoming just as common as waking up in the morning. The deja vu. Like sometimes even before I walk into poetry venues, I've already pictured the colors, settings, decorations, and designs, even though I had never in my physical existence walked inside. Strange. I don't much recall the people's names, but this is something so familiar by the look on their faces. Like, maybe we met before at the same exact moment in a different time on a different place, in a parallel dimension. And I see it's still hard to recognize each other past the color of our skin. Men have hated me for such things, so sometimes I'm thinking we're here but living something we took for granted. Maybe the first time I walked the planet, I spent my time moonlighting as a carpenter, preaching at synagogues to men that just looked up to me like I was God. Odd, what churches and poetry venues have in common. Some of my fans have even called me their own prophet. So I keep wondering if I'm going to heed the warnings, or if I'm going to keep going down this path I know all so well. Maybe a microphone is the furthest thing I need to be away from. Maybe I just missed my chance at happiness a decade back before I started performing. Possibly that's why I keep having deja vu, like perhaps it's telling me something I shouldn't do. Possibly that's why I keep having deja vu, like perhaps it's telling me something I shouldn't do. Something I didn't. What? It's been clear that the past is hard to erase. I tell my exes no need to worry about if I'm gonna feel guilty for your broken heart. Reality has a hard way of flashing a mirror right in front of your face. And I've been trying to do things differently, but every move I make it's like deja vu was taking over my dreams. And I don't know if this is a good thing, but it's like nothing seems new anymore. Kinda like when I stood over the Grand Canyon for the first time. I was unamazed, like I've seen this before. I've seen you before, listening to me perform. Somehow I've known this shit all along, like the words to a song. So it just makes me wonder if I'm doing something wrong. Like maybe I'm just blowing it, walking down roads I'm comfortable with. And I've been in denial for a while, knowing there's something more I want now. Knowing the further I walk down, it gets that much harder to turn around. And I know how it sounds, it's a deja vu, showing us flashes of lives we've already lived through. It's just that nothing seems new anymore. And it's been the hardest thing for me to fully accept in my life, that just maybe I might be making the same mistakes twice.
It's been a brilliant journey of self-awakening. Now you've simply got to ask yourself this: what is happiness to you?
I want to dream real. I want to live a real life.
Now, here's something that you may not know about Marc Marcel. Every time me and him get together, there is some sort of natural disaster, so to speak, that just is, mind-boggling. The first time we got together...
why is that me? That's you, too.
I don't know what it is. I'm going to pose that question to the audience because I don't know what's going on with it. But first time we got together, it was during the Japanese earthquake that
right. I know that's crazy.
Completely rocked Japan. Last time, this next time, an earthquake rocked the East Coast. I think the day of the time we met, earthquake rocked the East Coast, and there was, a hurricane that people are still dealing with, in Northern America. I mean, what do you think about the current natural disasters? I mean, is it HARP, or is it some rising consciousness? I mean, what is it? Is it something else? Because to me, that's crazy. I just want to pose that question because I posed that question on Twitter. And
you said to me that's crazy. Don't pose that question. You're like, why are you doing this? Well, first, oh man. I mean, that could be looked at a number of different ways. I can't sit here and tell you exactly how I 100% feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Because you always leave that door open for something else, because that's how you learn. You know what I'm saying? You always got to still tell yourself, but I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like, because you got to, give yourself that door. That makes you learn. That gives you that. So anyway, I feel like that is, I feel like a lot of things are happening because of the change in consciousness and what's going on with us as society, and our minds consciously. That's just what I feel. I mean, I feel like, and this shit is happening at all kind of rates faster than it has happened, in 100 years. You know what I'm saying? We're having all kind of, in the last 10 years, things have gotten so rapid. And, I mean, even in the last 2 years, things like all these tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes on the East Coast. It's just like, what the fuck? Really? Hurricanes, on the East Coast. It's like, what the fuck? Really? That's really down in Florida. I mean, a lot of things, are just going, it's just happening within the last couple of years. There's so much more in abundance than it was 50 years ago, and it's happening at a faster pace. And we're also progressing at a faster pace. Our minds, our wants, our capabilities. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and I think there's a lot of things happening with the Earth. People forget to understand that the Earth is a living being. You know what I'm saying? It's a living being. It goes through mood swings. It goes through a period. You know what I'm saying? It has this period cycle. You know what I'm saying? It gets moody sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and it gets old. It gets young. It goes through changes. You know what I'm saying? And for us to think that, nothing's going to happen here is our ignorance, because to think that it can't, or nothing drastic can happen like that while we're here. That's our ignorance. The Earth has gone through massive changes. Why can't it go through again? You know what I'm saying? And it will. But I think it's a beautiful thing to see, a lot of things like this happening. I mean the changes, the things, because it makes us open our eyes. It makes us whoa, what's this? And it gives you things to open up about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that quite answers your question. You know what I'm saying?
No, that was good. That was good. Yeah, I hear you. Cool. Actually, we have another question in the chat room by Nehemiah Radio, and they said they said explain how people can start getting to the point where they're opening their awareness to understand what it is that you know.
You know what it is? It's funny because I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I was explaining to them a situation I had with a friend. Actually, his name is Nehemiah, but I was telling them. It was talking about, I was telling them, like people who I would really listen to when they tell me stuff. Like, and I was telling them, like, there's only a few people that I know that have seen the type of stuff that I've seen, like, that I know personally. I know there's a large number of people out there that have, but that I know personally and that I can talk to about and that is on the same, like, wavelength, there's only a couple of people, right? I mean, there's only a few people or whatever, and I was like, Nehemiah is one of them, and she was telling me, and she was like, but Nehemiah wasn't as advanced as you were before you started really prying open your pineal gland with shamanism, and I was like, yeah, but you know what? What it is that it's about being open. And when I met Nehemiah was open in the fact of that he wasn't like his door just wasn't cracked. It wasn't like 6 inches open, and it wasn't a foot open. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like 2 feet open. His door was all the way wide open, and it was ready to learn. He was ready to learn and wanted to know, and just wanted to be aware. And that openness, you know what I'm saying, that openness of wanting to be aware and just wanting to learn and understand that you don't know everything, but you are on the course of trying to figure out, of being more aware, that right there is really what it's about. That right there is being awake. Because Nehemiah didn't have to accumulate, all the information that he did. Nehemiah was awake and aware the first second that, his door was all the way wide open. And everything from there just started opening up. You know what I'm saying? And a rabbit hole only gets deeper. Trust, like, you do know everything, but you realize that you know more than everything. You know what I'm saying? It just keeps getting deeper. So as soon as you make that conscious decision of like, I want to, like, tap into what is higher than me, it listens, and it gives you that here. It gives you the answers here. You don't have to do shamanism. You don't have to actually do astral projection or out-of-body experiences. You because it's going on here, and it's about understanding that shit here, So.
Now, just a week ago, you sat down with 2RAW4TV.
That's the PG version example, too. So go ahead.
No, I was saying last time we sat down and we did a mini interview for sort of like a promo interview for this interview right here, and we put it on video, and it's already gone kind of viral. A lot of people have put it up on their website as well. I mean, what do you think about about this video and other videos that you have made that resonates with people?
I don't know exactly, you know what I'm saying, but I mean, I can only have my assumptions and assume that, the video, I felt it, it's done probably in a way where probably people say, oh, this looks interesting, and probably want to be posted somewhere else, which I'm very thankful of. And anything else that I've done that people like, I'm thankful for, like my Awake video or whatever videos that I put up of me featuring, or even video where I'm talking about DMT, dimethyltryptamine, or whatever, or videos of my performances. I'm thankful. I really am, because really it's their choice. It's really not me. I'm really an extension of their own thoughts. That's really everything is. So it's really not me. It's just going to what they like. And people have to understand this is something that I understand, and that's why I'm thankful of it, because people have different preferences and different wants and likes. So it's not, my shit ain't better than nothing. It's just different, and people just, I guess, like its difference, or like what it is, or it inspires them a way to want to listen no more. So, and I say because like it is no better, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. It really is. I mean, it's just the same thing like in finding attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like I do it all the time with my friends. Somebody may find something attractive that I won't, and I may find somebody attractive that they won't. You know, so that's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. Now you were talking about knowing everything, and everybody has that knowledge of everything in them already. What is that sort of like the basis or the inspiration behind the track Centuries Before You? What's the inspiration behind that?
Well, the inspiration behind Centuries Before You was a track about soulmates. And sometimes you go through a lot of lives with your soulmates. So, but what if there's a time that you live that, you know, you don't live with your soulmate? And so that track is like this a track of me knowing that I do have a soulmate out there, but she's not living this lifetime with me right now, and she's out there somewhere else. And I was centuries before her, and you know, before like she came into this existence. And then the track that you will find is, I'm not giving anything away here, but you'll find that she even lived after me. You know what I'm saying? And then how that ties back into it at the end is kind of like with I guess the thought process was to how it just ties back in. And it's just and also kind of realizing, man, the standards that I have here, and like just I really would have had to have been cloned or split in half for me to truly accept, you know, to totally 100% be happy with a woman. So it's thought that my soulmate is out there, but she just ain't in this lifetime.
No doubt, no doubt. And this is Centuries Before You by Marc Marcel. Call 323-410-0036. I see you people calling. You got to press that one button, too, so I know that you want to talk. This is Centuries Before You by Marc Marcel.
I love you. I didn't think you'd miss what you didn't remember. I can't stay.
I know.
You have to leave.
Why?
So we can live human lives. Love, connect. Grow old. Die.
It's like I've been searching all this time just to realize I may have missed you on this lifetime. My exes have broken down and confessed to me that when we were together, they felt like they were being measured up to this myth of a woman that I had concocted up in my mind. So if things were tense, it's only because they were certain there were things they couldn't possibly live up to. Funny, because I've never said your name. Somehow they know about you. Never even spoken about you, but maybe it's how I ain't never been satisfied with them that lets them know you even exist. And I don't know how many centuries it's taken for you to finally hear this. Whether it's something you overheard from one of your peers, or if it's something you recognized while your professor was deciphering the lines from some 21st century poet. But there's a few things I've come to understand in the years since the last time we've spoken. Now I'm not sure how much different the world is for you since I've last walked the soul, but I'm sure your kind has learned to live without the oil. During my time, men died for such things when there was knowledge of their being able to survive without the gasoline. Hopefully we'll reach the point in time when we get so bored with fighting wars, we run out of options and have no choice but to try peace. I just want the best for you. I want the world you live in to be beautiful. I'm sure my folks would have loved you too, not as much as me, but close. And I'm sure God finds fascinations in you too, not as much as me, but almost. And I don't even want to know his name, the man occupying my space. But whatever you do, just keep him away from poetry venues. It's made me give up so many things along the way, maybe even you.
Why didn't you tell me you were coming? I would have been here waiting.
I didn't want you to wait. I don't want you to spend your life waiting.
What happened to us?
It's like I said. We were built in pairs.
Darling, my occupation couldn't possibly been fair to you. Maybe it's something you knew too. It scarred me along the way. So you're probably living in another time and another day. I know how hard it must have been to let me go. You must have heard by now some of the decisions I've made have been horrible. And oh, how I wish you were there to guide me through. But maybe it's something I had to do alone. But please, not a word about me. It's been centuries since I last touched the microphone. Centuries since I last wrote a poem. I think about other things now. Seen so many other things now. And there you are. Centuries since I was last born. I promise I'll come visit, meet up with you in your dreams. At bus stops, you can think of it as a little secret. And I'm so proud of you for the life you've lived. You're such an inspiration to others. And I see you, belly's getting bigger. Look at the things you can create, so beautiful, just like her mother. Look at you, finding enjoyment in little things like braiding your daughter's hair. Reading her my poetry before she goes to bed. Somehow it makes her fall asleep. She's getting older now, grades A's and B's, being praised at parent-teachers meetings. Off to college, 4 years, every other day she checks in with you on the phone. Holiday, she's home. Graduation comes, moves out of state. Now she's off on her own, leaving you in this big house all alone. Husband passed a few years back. He says hello. You have no fear getting old. The grandkids, wow, look how they've grown. You're getting tired. You can't run around them in the house anymore. Your body's aching. Things are getting cold. The blanket just isn't keeping you warm. And she's there, your daughter, every Sunday, by your bedside, reading you my poems. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Honestly, it's like falling awake. You're weak. For the last time you fall asleep, it's bright. All kinds of wonderful lights. It's hard to see, but you hear a voice guiding you hear so familiar. You recognize the cadence instantly, saying you don't understand what I've been through, waiting for you to come back to me.
Could we pretend just for a minute that this is the first time we've met?
Okay. Sure. It's just that you're my best friend. I've been in love with you all my life.
I want to shout out all the people that are listening, man. I mean, I love y'all. And people in the chat room, man. Lady Silhouette, Madam Danny, Mommy Bliss, Nehemiah Radio. Check out Lady Silhouette on Twitter, actually, at DJG Merc, M-E-R-C. You can actually check her out there. But I also had a question from the chat room. And, now, you had a personal tragedy not too long ago. And a lot of people, you showed a true act of love, burying one of your close friends. How was that? And how would that whole thing go? And a lot of people don't know about it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, one of my best friends, Will, the real one, Bell, was murdered about May 29th or something like that. But he was shot right outside his venue. This phenomenal poet, spoken word, nationally acclaimed, international. He's just, he's as dope as a poet he was. Really, he was your friend. He was even a realer person and a realer friend. And he was my brother. But so anyway, I went to the funeral, and then burying him. It's just wild because I knew it was going to hit me, but I knew it was going to hit me until I got to Miami. When I got to Miami, as soon as I got out the terminal to the airport, I started choking up. It started hitting me. I was like, oh shit. And I didn't get a chance to go to the viewing. My plane got there too late, so I was upset about that. But then the next day, the funeral came in. Man, as soon as I walked down, I mean, it just hit me. It was just like, it was heavy. You know, it hit me like way harder than I ever thought it would. I've never had to deal with anything like that, like somebody that close to me being taken out in the manner that they were. But anyway, in burying him, it wasn't, you know, the idea was from a poet out of Tampa, Life. And I got to the funeral services. You know, we went to they had the funeral service, and then, you know, when people left, and now the person I was riding with didn't get the chance to get to the burial in time. So I wanted to see everything that I could. So I was like, damn, you know. So, but we got there when people were leaving. So I walked right up there, you know, afterwards, you know, and saw the coffin, you know, in the ground, and just, you know, saying my piece with him and talking to him. And I noticed that Life had a shovel in his hand. And when I saw him with the shovel, instantly I knew what was going down. You know, instantly I knew what he was doing. And I was like, oh, no, he ain't doing this shit by himself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah. I am not leaving here like, So I went right over to the groundkeeper and got the shovel. And me and him started out. And then other people joined in, Keith Rogers, Huggy Bear, and two other cats, Salam, and this other dude, and Butterfly, Fawn. We all joined in, eventually burying him. And it was, dude, it was really, I needed that, you know what I'm saying? I needed that for me. I mean, that wasn't for Will. It wasn't. That shit was for me, you know, and for everybody there, that was for them, you know what I'm saying? Because really, I know that even deeper now, because I know Will is 100% at peace. You know, I know that through, I was blessed, like I was, you know, to have channeled, or it's funny because when I went home, you know, the next day I cried so hard. Like I've never cried. I cried like a baby, like the next day. Cried so hard, man. I've never cried like that hard over anything like that I can think of. And then the next day I cried again so hard. I was staying over at my friend Chez's place, and he came in and he saw me. I could see he felt so. He was like, wow, like to see a grown man cry, like he felt just as bad for my pain, you know. And then I went home. When I went home, finally, like after like 2 days being down there, I was at my computer, and I was, you know, listening to a track that me and did on one of my albums called Monsters. And he had his verse, and then I had my verse, and then it played into where he was just talking. And that's really what I really want to hear, is him just talking on the verse, because that's hilarious, you know what I'm saying? He's fucking just so funny. So I'm sitting there laughing, you know, and like at what he's saying, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to the track, I'm like, man, it's just funny, you know, man, feeling good. And then after a while, it plays out into silence. And so then I just started feeling pain again, you know, because there was nothing after the track, you know. It just played into a dead silence. And I started crying again. I started, like, you know, I was like, God, and I was yelling at God. I was like, God, why? Not like this, not like this. And, dude, like, I, like, buried my face in my hands. And right over my right ear, man, it's just somebody was standing right over my right shoulder. Like, it came in like a frequency, like, right over my ear. And it said, I'm all right, Mark. And I've never felt nothing. I've been channeled into other things. Like, I've spoken to my soul, you know, told you about that, and opened up my pineal gland to see other things, you know, through astral projection and stuff like that. But I've really never had nothing that clear here in the physical, like, come in so clear like that. And and it was in such a peaceful voice, man, that if somebody wanted to convince you that they're at peace, they would have said it in this type of voice, you know. it was so peaceful, man, that the peacefulness in that voice took away my pain. And I know that was my gift from him to me. You know, I know he was basically like, yo, look, I'm okay. I'm totally all right. I'm at peace. Like, so much came from that. You know, we obviously know how we told each other, you know, how we loved each other. You know, there was nothing for him to be like, I love you, Mark. We already know that we did that. You know what I'm saying? We was that close. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I love you, dude. I love you too, man. But he just wanted to let me know that he was at peace. That my heart was heavy, man. My heart was like just, dude. I've never felt such pain. And when I was blessed to hear that, man, I've never had such pain be lifted off so, like, instantly, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
It was just like, I was like, God damn, you a bad motherfucker over there, dude. You know what I'm saying? The things you're working on over here is just amazing. So I know he's all right, man, and I'm just going to miss, you know, my times that I had with him here, the thing, you know, us joking on each other and stuff. I'm going to miss that, you know, but he's all right, so.
Well, when you're tapped in, you know that life never really ends, so I definitely know you understand that. And now, what is your vision for the future? What is your vision for the future?
Well, in what capacity? I mean, there's a lot of things that's going on. I see us progressing as humans. I see things that's going to happen with our culture. You know, I see things that's going to happen with the financial system. You know what I'm saying? So I would, as humans, we are going to evolve physically. I mean, that is going to happen. Actually, they're doing, when I say they, I mean the people from, excuse me, energies from the other side. They're doing work on our bodies now. They're like, and not enhancing it. Well, they're doing things to the DNA for our consciousness to be able to evolve into, you know, now every second is being done. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's things that we're going to evolve to physically. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be able to do things, more things with our consciousness. And instead of the way we see, we're going to have a broader scope on the way we see. We're going to be able to see from the right to the left instead of just seeing from the peripheral. You know what I'm saying? The peripheral will be like almost from in back of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like talking will eventually, our consciousness will raise to a level like where talking will become, you know, telepathic. And I mean, so financially, I'm sorry to say, you know, but country-wise, I mean, the shit is gonna fall. I mean, that's almost, you can almost know that without seeing it. You know, I mean, that just goes with history. Every dynasty crumbles, but it's going to crumble in a way where it's going to be for the better. Excuse me, but it's going to be for the better. And, I mean, but you got to tear down shit to make it better. You just can't build on top of it if the shit is already fucked up. You know, how you going to, build, 5 more stories on a building that is already fucked up and rotting away and built off wood? Nah, you got to tear that bitch down. You know what I'm saying? So that shit is going to crumble and be built, and it will, being crumbled, you're going to go through your moments like, oh, shit, like, what the fuck? You know, but people are going to understand coming together is going to make the progression in it. And because we have no choice but to evolve to peace, because that's what, the major or, the point of evolution is, peace and acceptance and love. And that's what we're evolving to. So we're going to evolve to that. So we're going to work through all that. We have no choice. That is coming. And I don't care if it's coming tomorrow or 10 years or 100 years or 5,000 years. It's going to happen. You can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? That's evolution. We will evolve to not just knowing everything, but being able to live out everything here in that peaceful harmony. And that's, so the money systems will crumble because, one, money is a primitive thought. Think about it. We try to be, if we aliens, you know what I'm saying, out there, if you believe in aliens, if you believe that they can come here and stuff in these amazing spaceships and stuff like that they have, you gotta wonder, you gotta think damn, they can come here. Wow, that's why that they're that advanced that they can do that. You know what I'm saying? Now, can you imagine an alien going to a spaceship lot, buying a spaceship? Be like, here, let me put $20,000 on this spaceship G2X. I can't, man. I can't. The knowledge is there. The technology is there. So really, money is a primitive thought. So if we are going to evolve as humans, which we have no choice but to, the money system will become up. And it will, and people will be like, oh, so what is it going to be, a barter system? No, it's not going to be a barter system. It's going to be a system that you understand that everything is at your disposal, and you're going to be able to take. It's going to be able to there for you to have. But we're going to be so advanced consciously by the time this happens that we're not going to, take advantage of it and just get so greedy and just, be like, oh, I want to take this and this and this and this and this. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to understand that it's there for our disposal. And that's what technology is here for, man. We don't use technology right now how we should. We use technology how we should, man. That shit, all of us, man, would be fucking house working from home. You know what I'm saying? And so it's there, man. And that's
I hear you.
Too.
And I want to say this. If you want to continue on with the conversation, I have a couple of callers, so I want to definitely get them. Call in 323-410-0036. We are going a little bit over the 60 minutes. We're talking to Marc Marcel, who is dropping some major jewels right now about the future, about higher consciousness. So go ahead and call 323-410-0036. You want to continue on this conversation. Now, we do have a caller from 323 area code. You on the line?
Hello?
323?
Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah.
Little Brains.
Little Brains. My dude, Little Brains. These are my two favorite Little Brains on the phone, man. Palmetto and Nehemiah Clark. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. So you tuning in, huh? That's good, dude. That's what's up. I was talking about you earlier, man, how much I think about you.
Yeah, I sent that message, and he was like, a friend of mine, Nehemiah, and I was like, that was me who sent the message.
Okay, all right, so you Nehemiah Radio laying low. That's what's up.
Yeah, I don't even know why I came up as Nehemiah Radio, but yeah, I've been listening, dropping some jewels, as Palmetto said.
No doubt. He's definitely dropping some serious stuff, man. And how has the DMT, since you how have you since last time we've spoken, have you had any more experiences on that? Have seen more stuff? Because a lot of things that you were seeing were amazing things. And so what have you experienced recently with that, or have you experienced anything that you haven't said? Is
this for me or Nehemiah?
Well, for both you guys. Let's
you know what? That's good, because to really bring this in, that's a good. You asked a good question, because Nehemiah. So wait to listen in on that. But it's funny because, as I was saying earlier, me and Nehemiah, we share our information. We really do. And everything that I know, I bring it to him, and everything that he's going through, he brings it to me. And what's funny is that we kind of had similar experiences. We had different experiences, but the same message. And with one of our last trips, I'll tell mine, and he can go ahead and tell his. That'll be a good way to bring him in. But one of my last trips. Actually, my last journey through opening up my pineal gland through DMT is that I went through like this wormhole, and there were doorways above me, and it was like the doorways to a floor. So, you know what I'm saying? So basically the door was on the floor, you know what I'm saying? But I was passing a bunch of them, you know, I was like just just going through like these wormholes, just passing through. And all of a sudden it took me to this one that opened up, and I came through the bottom of the floor. And so then I was in the middle of like the area looking out, and I was in what looked to be like a big ass banquet hall. And the thing was so huge, like it was massive, but it was empty. Now, it was telling me, though, that it used to be filled with information. Information is like, think of information was a gold bar. So you take all these gold bars, you just stack them bad boys up to where it is. You can't even put a gold bar in there. That thing was that full. It was that full, and it was now completely empty. And it was telling me, Mark, you already know everything. You've already taken everything out of here. Now go do the work. So that's like, that was kind of like my last trip. And it's funny because I appreciate that message because it has made me open up to see things here, just for things that I see here just by like reality, that so we call it. Like just noticing that things open up here in reality, man, that I see that I can get messages from without even crossing. And that's kind of what it was telling me. So like, and also to do the work, to spread that, the knowledge and the message, which is that, you know, love, basically, and acceptance. So.
No doubt. Now Nehemiah, he's on the line, and he's actually going to be a guest on our next show. If you don't know who Nehemiah is, he is a phenomenal live artist, and he also has experience with the DMT and how that has altered his life. How has it changed your life, and what sort of visions have you seen, Nehemiah?
Man, what haven't I seen should be the question.
Yeah, I know, right?
First of all, I mean, like, there's probably a list of people who, one, have to thank Mark for bringing and making this thing available because, man, we've been able to introduce a lot of people to information that not only that they were searching for, but that they already knew that needed to be rediscovered. So we all owe Mark a thanks for going out on the limb and bringing this to us, because goodness knows that I have no idea how we would be exposed to it if it wasn't for him being courageous enough to sit in the back of a car in Florida and try this thing out for the first time. You know, but man, I've got to see a lot, you know, and it's so funny because once you cross over to that realm, things in this realm start to remind you of things that you saw there. So there's not a day that goes by where I don't see something that reminds me of a DMT trip that I had. And my last DMT trips they've been more intense coming out. It's been more like they've been using me as a channel to speak through me, and they've been giving messages just to the people who I've been doing the DMT with. So I'll be in a room full of strangers, and the beings on the other side, as soon as I'm done with my trip, you know, they'll just start talking through me instantly. And the trips have the trips have, now it's more so of just like going over there and getting a spiritual recharge, more so than, you know, being bugged out by things that I'm seeing, because I think that I've gotten past the point of them showing me things, more so as them using me to get information out to people who, you know, need it. But like Mark said, a lot of things that they've been doing lately has just been like, you know everything now. You know, like, I don't even know why you keep coming back here. You know, it's almost like you reading the same book over and over and asking your teacher the same questions. They're like, look, we've gone over this already. Why are you continually asking me this? Take this knowledge and go apply it. So that's what my trips have been like lately. So it's been good because, you know, I mean, like, when you start to do DMT, you are bugging out trying to figure out exactly what it is that you're tapping into. But now that I know that I've gotten past the awe stage, I'm able to pretty much, like, take the information and start to apply it in my everyday life, which I think is the main reason why we're given DMT to begin with. So the trips have been like, you know, I've seen crazy stuff. I guess one of the biggest things that I've got to see, besides like talking and walking with the being once my trip started to get a little bit more organized, but I got to see the machine that recorded everything that we do here.
Yeah.
And
wow.
For me, that was an eye-opener, you know, and when you're there, you just know. You don't have to be, you know, like someone doesn't have to sit and explain what this is or what that is. It's like you just know. And I was shown the machine that records everything, and then I started watching movies that reiterated that fact. Everything is being recorded. Everything is being recorded. It's one thing to know, but it's another thing to actually see it. That could really change someone's life, because the little things that you think that, you know, no one's paying attention to when you're at your house by yourself or you think no one's looking at you, they're always watching and taking notes. True.
Now, what sort of live performances do you do? You're gonna be on the guest for our next show, y'all. This Nehemiah. So I mean, you have some really good stuff out there. What sort of live performances do you do?
I do two different things. I DJ, and I perform with my my hip hop band. So you can catch me one day just behind tables spinning, or another time you can catch me, you know, rocking with a 5-piece soulful funk hop band, you know.
No doubt. And I think we're having some problems all day because it dropped, but I definitely want you guys to check out Marc Marcel. You could touch Marcel. You could definitely check him out on Facebook. He's definitely doing this thing, and he's performing all over the country, y'all. So definitely check this dude out. He's definitely doing this thing. This is a track by him called On the 7th. I want y'all to just keep it all raw, and remember the revolution is inside. So with that, this is 2RAW4TV. This is On the 7th by Marc Marcel.
What's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man. How's your party day?
Man, it's called work, man.
That's what, yeah, you always gotta do what you gotta do, no doubt. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Man.
Yo, I just wanted to ask you a question. Question I have: where do you see yourself in 10 years, 5 to 10 years, in this spoken word?
Hopefully I'm retired. I don't want to really be doing this in 10 years. That's the God's honest truth. For real. Like, I'm already thinking of...
You want to retire?
Put it like this, man. I'm already thinking about my exit strategy.
Retiring. Shut your mouth. Don't even speak that into the universe.
Maybe I'm just bored. Like a god that took 6 days to finish creating the earth in its physical form. So he just sat around on the 7th, thinking of other things he could possibly do with his art form. And maybe that's been my curse with performing. People say maybe I need a vacation or should just take a break, but they don't get it. Just like a god that brings life into existence, I feel so responsible for what I've done here. So liable for the ones that have supported my career. So enslaved to this connection they've had after one of my features, because I know they've been using my poems like it was their own respirator machine. And I can hear them breathing in every word I've ever thought to put in one of my pieces. And somehow I still feel the guilt from all the poems I don't have the time to complete, because for any revelation that never made it to the page, I know I'm forgetting to mention someone's name. I don't know why we're trying to protect more of myself or them, but it's probably the deadliest thing you could ever hear poets say. Probably the #1 cause to what leads the careers of most artists to their graves. Because after swearing off your life for so long to your art form, once the thrill is gone, it's not like you can just get this 9 to 5 and survive. When you know for half your lifetime now, your art has been the one thing that's been keeping you alive. So I mean, it's not like I could just retire. And I don't think there's a poem out there just waiting to get me inspired. For the last few years I walked into venues looking to hear something new, but every poem's been sounding the same, with poets being introduced to colorful stage names. Really, it's just so cute, the way they tell me how deep they are, like they really think it's all that important for me to hear them spit a few bars. Like I ain't never heard no shit like that before. Like I ain't spent a decade on tour or heard millions of unedited poems. Maybe I'm just losing it. My homies tell me I shouldn't judge them by my work ethic, but I tell them, come on man, that's all I have to compare them with. So I've been thinking, maybe I'm either beyond my years here, or maybe it's time for me to quit.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about my exit strategy. So I don't see me doing this in 10 years. I just don't. 5 years, I could probably still be doing this, but I'm gonna be like Jordan with the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be on my way out.
You know what? That does not warm my heart. I do not want to hear about Marc Marcel retired.
I want to spend more time with my kid, be the father to him the way mine was to me. Maybe that's where my happiness is, or maybe I'll find a religion, no matter how ridiculous. Convince myself that maybe I was wrong all them years and find God in a system. I've just been trying to look in the mirror again. Maybe I'm numb from all the drugs I put in my system. Maybe my life has been filled with too many women. Maybe it's time for me to settle down. So I keep thinking about reaching out to women I may have neglected, and try to convince myself that yes, I will be happy with less than what I expected. Maybe I'm just bored. Maybe my inspiration's lying on the line for one of my thousands of some of my poems. Or maybe I'm just scared. Or maybe I'm just wondering, where am I gonna go from here? So sometimes I wonder about death, if that's the type of adventure I need to take. Just something to wipe this bland ass look off my face. I need some excitement, not something that'll make me right, something that'll make me appreciate who I am in life. Because I've been trying to figure out ways to walk away, but I feel so enslaved to the roles I paid. Like a God that feels responsible for his creations, like a God that gets writer's block on the 7th day, sitting around and looking at his wonders and wondering what else is left, wondering what should be next, and realizing there's no one else to impress. Tired, worn down, conflicted and stressed, so he just folded and declared the 7th day for rest.
I know, I think about things, different things. Most people think, most people think about, like, the park and the movies. I'm thinking about aliens and space and the afterlife.
That's all right.
Yeah, so, and actually it's funny that as good as poetry has been to me, as thankful as I am for it, my mind is somewhere else. That poetry is starting to feel minute to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.